All right, good morning. I am going to work on, I'm going to do some color work today. Previously, I had done this character that you see here on a different broadcast. And what I did was I had done the rough draft on paper, using paper and pencil, and that old traditional trick, right? And so I took a picture of the drawings and then I brought them into Procreate, which is what you see here now on the iPad. And I did a live session where I did the outline. So I did the outline, and now I'm going to do the color work. Now I did that with three other different characters here, and I'm gonna color those at a different time. I'm gonna focus on this one today and do the color work for that. So just looking for a good way to start the day, and I think this is a really good way to start the day. So let me go ahead and get started, and let's just have fun watching the process. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do this old trick that I use where I take the outline of what you see now, and I'm gonna duplicate it. Again, I'm using Procreate on the iPad, and I duplicate it so I have two. Okay, so I'm gonna use the top one, and I'm gonna lock it so I don't ruin it. And then the bottom one, the bottom copy, I'm gonna use it to just drop in the colors. Okay, so I haven't quite decided what color I'm gonna use, but I think this one is giving me like a green tone. So I'm just gonna drop that right in. Again, as I mentioned in other posts that I've done, I don't really have a profound reason for the color choices of these robots that I do. It's just, whatever color I haven't done for a while, I'll just pick that one. That's what I'm doing now. Just chose a green just because, and then I'll just work with that. I'll just work with that color, and then initially what happens is this color will determine what other colors I use afterwards. Like for the backgrounds, it's surroundings, it's other secondary tones, but there's no profound reason what first color I choose for I think that goes for everything that I do. Okay, so right, so that's what I have so far. I think maybe gold, like a golden tone, would be nice. I'm using the Studio Ink in Procreate right now, and it just I feel like it gets the job done, especially for what I'm doing. I hope you all woke up to a nice morning. I did. There's lots to do today. Lots to do. And so why not have a little fun before the day begins? We pick a lighter gray. I'm gonna give some of these parts like a chrome, like these little horns here. I'll give it a chrome, like a chrome tone. There we go. I'll do like a dark gray green for the arms and legs. And it looks like I forgot to do some line work here. I think I'll add it afterwards though. This is just the color layer anyways. I'll do it to the outline. Okay, let me go back to this green. I forgot to put some green over here. It's like a coloring book almost. Some of these areas are just small enough for me to just do it manually, so that way I don't have to be trying to drop in some color and zooming in too much. Okay, I'm gonna choose a really bright red for these areas, for the glowing eyes. These are going to be lit up, so I'm going to create like a glowing effect to these red zones later. Okay, and that's there you go. Now we have this fella here. All right. Okay, I don't know if I'm digging the green too much anymore. I hate when that happens. You know, once you get the whole thing in there with all the colors, then sometimes I'll have a second thought. Like, what if I play around with the hue and saturation? I just play with the little dial here. And I'll choose a different color scheme. I think I'm liking this right here. You know, I'll work with this. That should do it. Okay. I did forget some line work here. I'm gonna go ahead and add that real quick before I continue. There's these little lines. Oh, what was that? Oh, and this is why you lock the layers that you don't want to ruin, because you know, I may have drawn this. I may have made an accident earlier if I did not, but I gotta remove the lock now. So unlock, so I can add those details. There we go. Okay. Let me lock it up now. All right, I'm going to do the tones. I'm gonna do the toning for this, and make a new layer on top. I like to make my tones on a clipping mask layer so that the colors remain within the color boundaries at all times. So what kind of brush am I gonna use? I'm gonna shop around. Let's see. Let me try old brush. How does that look like? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a some kind of muted color. Let me try purple. And then I'll put this purple. I'll use this purple as a tone for all the colors in there. So the way that works is if you create a tone and you make it until you multiply at 50%, that usually works. These percentages are not it's not like a golden rule. It's just something that I use 50% for tones. If it's nighttime, I'll do like 70% because, you know, tones tend to be darker at night. But we'll see. I still don't know what kind of environment this character is going to be in, so I can just change those percentages later. Right, let me go ahead and do this now. I don't like this brush. So let me change it about if I do? Look at these artistic brushes. What is quoll? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Right. Oh, very nice. It's like a watercolor. I think I like this. They've added so many brushes to Procreate. I'm just starting to explore some of them. There, I think this is lighter, and I went softer on it, so it's not too extreme like it was a second ago. I do like this brush. I think I'll use it for this particular piece. Okay. So the tone is going to be applied to areas that are not getting direct light. Which is a concept for many people to really kind of understand. I'm a high school teacher, so when I cover tones and highlights and shadows, it's like a big head scratcher for my students. But it's just it's just a matter of looking at things and how light interacts with surfaces and things like that. And there'll be a tone. Maybe 50%. It's probably not a good percentage for this particular tone. Let me increase it so the shadows are a bit darker. God, my neighbor's dog is way out of control. I don't know if you guys can hear that dog barking. It's annoying. I don't think this part is gonna have a tone. Let me get rid of that. Okay. I don't know. I'm not really feeling that. Maybe they're just not. Maybe there just isn't enough parts that have to be toned out. That's why I feel like I'm not doing enough shadows. But I mean, there's gonna be a lot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let me work with the highlights. Let me go ahead and cover that. Okay. So when I do highlights, I like to do a clipping mask as well to keep those highlights within the color boundaries. And what I'm going to do is I'll make this layer an overlay. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong menu. Overlay with a white color. I'll do all white, and then let's see how that looks like with the quoll brush that I'm using. Okay. You know what? This is gonna look better if I change the background color. Let me work with this. It looks different on the computer screen than it does on the iPad. Right, whatever. So that's cool. I like the way that came out. The cool thing about this brush is that it's making the surface of this character almost metallic, which is nice because he is a metal. He's a metal-esque. That's not a word. That's probably not even a word. A metal-esque looking character. Soften this up more. It's like, it feels like you're using a watercolor brush. It's behaving like a watercolor brush. It's kind of neat. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay. Now it's making more sense. Now I think I'm definitely digging these highlights and shadows now. I think this part needs to be highlight. A little bit of that. Okay. This is gonna require some highlight. There's gonna be stuff coming out of this Canon leg. Okay. All right. So let me play around with some lighting effects. I'm gonna take the airbrush, and I'm gonna pick this this fluorescent color for the lighting, for the lit parts of the character, and I'm gonna go ahead and brush that in, airbrush that in on a separate layer. Screwed that up. Nope, that's too big. Smaller. There you go. I'm gonna play with a blending mode and let's see what looks good. The blending mode to make lighting effects could be tricky, depending on the color. That looks kind of neat. You just have to sort of pick which one is the best. I think this one is giving me the right effect. Let me soften up. Oh shoot. Let me get the airbrush eraser. Bigger. Okay. There's something else I want to do to these parts here that attach these. I don't even know what they're called. I wouldn't know what to call them anyway. But I'm gonna use the inking, the Studio Pen ink pen, and I'm gonna use that dark. I'm gonna use a dark green for now. On a separate layer, I'm gonna make it so that there is a little tone to that part, so that there's a sense of, there's like thickness to these parts. Just gonna go along these, keep it consistent as best as I can. You know what? I have to multiply these. Multiply allergies are going crazy since yesterday. Let's just hope they're allergies. So what I'm doing is a itsy bitsy tiny toned area, just to give these little parts more dimension, definition, thickness. And I'm on a separate layer on top of the highlights, a clipping mask layer. I'm going to use white as an overlay. And I'm going to put really, what do you call it? Sharp edged highlight. These are parts that are receiving direct lighting. Oh, I forgot to add tones here. Needs a highlight. Yeah. Let's use a highlight. And this part. But this little trick, it just gives this character more definition, just like little details. All of this will be highlighted. And this part here for sure. On a separate layer, I'll put this below this layer. I'm going to do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but I'm going to add a thicker highlight that's going to be more transparent. So let me go ahead and do that now. Just to make the character more glossy. You know what? Let me change this to an overlay as well. Overlay. But maybe I don't use maybe I'll use the marker. Nope, too thick. Thinner. Let me make it transparent. Thin that out. I mean, not thin that out. Make it less visible. I don't know why I said thin that out. right. What I want to do now is I want to add particles to like these little particle lighting effects. So it looks like he's shooting things out of his cannon. So there'll be stuff emitting from here and stuff emitting from here. What's he shooting at is beyond me. So I'll let you decide. So I'm gonna use the gouache brush. On a separate layer, of course. And let's see what color. Let's try the same color that's glowing here. That will make sense, right? Make it a big. There we go. I'm gonna eliminate some of that because clearly it's not supposed to do that. But whoops. I'm gonna eliminate some of that. Sometimes I do that. I just kind of go overboard and then I just trim off some of it. There we go. I like that. Let me add more stuff to that. There's a really cool brush I like to use. If you go to the brushes, luminance, there's a really cool thing called the light pen. Why does it keep doing that? All right. On a separate layer, of course, just in case I mess up. I'm just gonna put these glowing dots coming out of that. Like little light particles. Maybe some kind of venture out. Yeah, that looks cool. And they kind of venture out here though. I don't know if I want to add it throughout the whole thing. That's kind of cool. On a separate layer, I'm going to use, let me pick a light version of that. Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to make an attempt at something. I'm going to make these kind of flares flow through. That's kind of nice. Let me add that here. That's kind of nice. All right. Now what's going to happen is because he is doing all that business, there is that does affect the environmental lighting around him, or it. I don't know if this character has a gender. And so I'm going to use the airbrush to create that lighting effect. Let me start with white. And in fact, this will be an overlay. It's too much. separate layer. I'm going to use the other color. I don't know if I like any of this. Trash. Delete. Let me try this. Let me try the nebula. There's a nebula effect in the luminance. I'll stick to the pink, the really bright pink. Let me make a new layer. Oh, okay, that's cool. White. No. Let me go back to the airbrush. I'll pick a softer airbrush. Make a new layer behind all this. And I'll make this into an overlay. Maybe overlay's not a good choice. Let me stick to the overlay for now. I think what needs to happen is I gotta change that background color. Maybe that's what it is. It's not doing any of this any justice. So let me play around with different background colors. No, I already worked with those. This is looking pretty interesting. I'm not a fan of orange though. It does look interesting though. Ooh, this one isn't so bad. Let me go to the color picker instead. Let's see, the oranges were kind of looking pretty good, so maybe I stick to that realm of colors. Oh. I don't know. I'm liking this, but then you can't see the. Damn, I'm stumped on this one. Here, I'm gonna work with this one here. Okay, I think I'm liking this. I'm gonna pick a dark version of this color. And just to give this a sense of that there's a ground somewhere, I'm going to just put a dark gradient down here, hard gradient it looks like, and pick white, and I'm gonna do some more nebula. I'm gonna do this in the foreground though. So we go to the very top. No, I don't want it. Never mind. That happens. Alright. I don't know, there's something about this background color. It's just not working with me today. Let me multiply it so at least I can use this ground layer as some kind of, source of surface. Black almost looks pretty cool. Okay, look, this is not too bad. What is this? Okay. I don't know. I think I have to fix the ground. I don't like that blue tone that I left there. So let me just change the color on hue and saturations so that we can at least pick something that makes sense. I think that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. You know what? This is one of those ones where I'm gonna have to just kind of live with it for maybe a couple of days. I'm gonna go ahead and share it. I'll go ahead and share it and put it up on Instagram, and this whole thing will be on YouTube later. So I'll share it. But I don't know if I open this later, maybe like in a week from now, and I still don't like it. I don't know. I may just have to take all that down because there's this background color. Look, if you like it, then you're awesome. But I don't know. There's something about the colors. But I mean, I kind of want to leave it. Anywho, there's other things I have to do for today. I'm gonna just leave this alone for now. And hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you watching this now or watching it later, whatever, however it is you're watching me. But check out my Instagram. It's art_of_Mr. Adolfo. I'll put a link to my Instagram in the description of this. And yeah, just take a look at what I'm putting up there. I have a TikTok. It's called Mr. Moment because my first name is not allowed on TikTok for weird reasons. And so check that out. And my YouTube is also Mr. Adolfo. So hope this was fun for you to watch. This was a color challenge for me, so I don't know how I feel about it, but maybe I'll just live and let live. I'll let it live and let live. That's what I meant to say. Okay. Have a nice day. Have a great weekend, and I will I guess I will see you soon, and take care, and stay safe.